Hi, folks. Oh, I don't know what happened. I'm gonna wait for some folks to get back on here. My screen just went black. How long had I been live streaming for?
I'll find out in a bit. Over 2 hours.
But not 4 hours.
Doesn't matter. It's your phone.
It's my phone? What do you mean it's my phone?
Well, it's not like,
Okay, so one thing that happened when I live streamed from my phone before was that when I tried to change the view from the screen pointing at me to the screen pointing at my screen, when I turned the camera around, it ended the live stream.
Correct.
Which is why I've tried to limit turning the screen so that that won't happen to me. But this time I did not touch the screen when it happened. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I think, generally speaking, Facebook doesn't like you, and that's happened before. And
you're just telling me that this is happening to me because Facebook doesn't like me?
Well,
no, I think there are trolls that don't like the topic that are reporting the video or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of trolls on Facebook.
But it just took the live stream down, like boom.
Yeah.
But my screen went black.
Yeah.
When I tapped my screen after it went black, it didn't come back or anything. I had to push the center button to take me back to the home screen. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
I had to
crashes and everything.
It did. It froze. It crashed, and I had to reopen
your application.
My application in order to start a new live stream because it was just dead for some reason, which is ridiculous. Just when we were getting to the juicy stuff, right?
It always is.
Man, what a ripoff, huh? Right when we get to the good stuff, they're like, yoink, let's yank this live stream. I'm still going to do it, though. So, here goes. Of course, Ed Higgins broke my live stream. Okay, let's go back to where we were. So I was telling you that she had, okay, let's, I'm going to try not to touch the phone too hard. You think so, Mike? I have no clue what in the heck just happened. Anyway, try this again. Here we go. So this actress had a website. They briefly had this website where they promoted Aubrey and Ed, and it says, you know, Aubrey Peckham is a longtime activist, caregiver, and journalist with, she'd never done a report in her damn life. But they just said that they were, you know, reporters. Most recently, she lives and serves as BOTG at the Dakota Access Pipeline Resistance Camps. And she was calling Ed Higgins the chief correspondent. Aubrey was the field correspondent. Later on, you remember, Mike Fassig became a correspondent. Dean Dedman was a correspondent. All sorts of people used Activate Now. And the crossing between Activate Now and Digital Smoke Signals and other platforms that were out there, including Drone to Be Wild, Relatives in Prayer, etc., the Pipeline Protest, Standing Rock, Ocheti Saco Camp, blah, 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 Sacred Stone Camp, goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So there is Madeline Merritt, actual actress with the Screen Actors Guild, running a platform and allowing her platform to be used by people covering up violent rape and kidnapping. No problem there. And here is the, I already went through these. This is a picture of this actress Stefania's involvement out at Standing Rock, because she was there too. Don't you know? There she is out at Standing Rock. This is a post from her Facebook page. And here's what she wrote along with this post. It says, 2 years ago, I couldn't believe what was happening at Standing Rock Sioux Tribe, so we went up to the camp to see it for ourselves and help in any way we could. That was the first camp I'd ever been to and the first activism event I was part of. Throughout our 2016-2017, I've been active with different groups fighting the good old fight. Today, we're facing the Asylum Seekers Caravan Support Network, and I find myself right in the middle of the hurricane. Interesting choice of words, Stefania. This time, organizing efforts through major strategies to make sure the help we send goes straight to the people in need. Standing Rock was a crash course for me in activism, and the teachings I learned on that sacred land will forever be part of my journey as an activist. You're an actress! You are literally an actress. Don't actors and actresses have enough? You have to take the place and the role of organizers and activists. Real grassroots people are going to be replaced by spokespersons like video game movie stars Estefania Rebelon. Is that what it's come to, folks? She says, thank you, Standing Rock. This movement lives deeply in me and many and has marked me forever. May we one day find a living and kind way to walk this earth without fear, poverty, global warming, and violence. 25,000 plus community at Standing Rock Camp she wrote thought. Wow. Thought me thought she can't English. She can't word in English very good. Okay, well, it happens to the best, right? It happens. Have any of these phonies from Standing Rock done anything that completed anything they promised? Where's the proof? What did they do for Flint? What did they do for any pipeline that they said they were going to stop? These people are astroturfing issues, folks. How did they help in Puerto Rico? Where's the Minijuachoni school? Where's all of the stuff they said they were going to do? But hey, throw some more money at these activists come lately. At these Hollywood actors come activist lately. Stefania posts on a picture of a group of activists in front of a house. People power. Here is today's team of volunteers ready to cross the border and drop off thousands of donations donated by you. Thank you so much for sharing a piece of your heart with the Asylum Seekers Caravan. And then they tag a bunch of organizations involved. Some of them you might recognize from the protest at Standing Rock. They are AIM SoCal, Cosecha, Border Angels, Enclave Caracol, Pueblo Sin Fronteras, Cultura Migrante, Bernie Sanders Brigade, Brenda Gutierrez, that's Bertie Gutierrez, the one with Evan Duke III, Marco Flores, Natalie Rothstein. Hey, there's Jeremy White. There's Madeline Kelly Merritt with Activate Now. And G. Chang. And then, of course, we also have posts by her about other events she's worked on. This one was the Yes We Can Christmas Festival celebration. They raised money for the Christmas festival celebration at the camp, most of which was put on by the Mexican government and the Mexican people. The Mexican festival celebration that people were celebrating at the Barretal was the Posadas. It's not a Christmas festival. That's why they gave them piñatas. And Michelle Eileen, who is Jeremy White's girlfriend, says, "This is so amazing, so incredibly proud of you." And Frances Fisher, the actress, says, "Amazing work, Stefania." So you hear people talking about how Hollywood is infected and controlled by these people that are they're the ones doing the activism, and they're getting involved in all of these things and politics. Well, folks, it's true. It just is. Let's go look at Jay Pawney's Facebook page, because this is interesting. I'm showing you who they are. It's the same group of people, although I'm pretty sure that it probably extends beyond that. But let's just take a look, okay? First of all, let's go to his timeline. And I wanted to show you what he does, because this is going to be important later. He has 4 mutual friends. There's that documentary filmmaker from the Confluence documentary. This is a lady that was running for office. There's the Indigenous Environmental Network lady, and this is Phyllis Young's daughter, Washday Wee. And here he's with the California Poor People's Campaign. So he's a strategist working with those folks, likely also with Linda Sarsour. He's also with the Climate Revolution. He also is with the Missing Flowers page. What? Jay Ponte is helping find missing and murdered Indigenous women too? Oh, good. So this guy from a non-Indigenous to this area background, not a woman, and he is managing this page for missing and murdered Indigenous women, just like Doug McLean is managing the page for Indigenous Life Movement. Just like we have Desiree Kane managing the Indian problem. Just like we have... Why? Why is it that you have to have these white, affluent, disconnected people and or their people of color allies like Jay Ponte managing pages, managing issues for Indigenous people, for Mexicans? Why are you speaking for us? It's not right. Look, here Jay Ponte is with the band Poolside. What are they raising money for?
Yeah, so we're part of a leadership team, and we are working to raise $10,000 by 11 a.m. for the refugee caravan kids. So these kids have been walking 2,000 miles. Many of them have lost their parents along the way. Really like bad times.
This is a world.
Excuse me? Now they're all orphans? Many of them have lost their parents along the way. What the hell was that about? Where did this new lie come from? Do you see how they just continue to add and add? There were people that died along the way. Some children died along the way. There were people that vanished along the way. You don't have to make anything up, Jay Ponte. There are real situations that occurred to this caravan, but this guy is saying they're raising money for the caravan. They're not. For a school at the Barretal, which is closing in 2 weeks. And they're trying to raise massive amounts of money really, really fast. Because, see, the jig is up. In literally 2 weeks, there won't be any more caravan to raise money off of. They're going to have to wait for the next one, you see. And so it's going to be apparent to you that they're raising all of this tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars for themselves and for their own gain, for their own political agendas, for their own organizational agendas, what have you. So they got to raise the money right now. And hey, if giving these poor kids an education and de-stressing them with the school that they already have, that they're really not going to help pay for, then how about we tell you they're orphans? Does that pull your heartstrings enough?
Issue. This is not like a political issue. This is children who are starving, who've walked 2,000 miles and they're stuck in Tijuana. And we've been in San Diego, which is my hometown, and I do a lot of shows in Mexico, so this is near and dear to my heart, as well as children starving is also near and dear to my heart. And
should be like everyone's heart. Like,
yeah.
I think if in this day and age, especially in this country and many of the developed countries, like we get to, as a society, have our brothers and sisters not have this type of experience, especially the children.
Yeah, I mean it's really sad. I've never used my platform here for any reason besides selfish. So I wanted to definitely use this opportunity to let everybody know that this is important. And, I don't know who's talking about what, where, or what's going on in that world, but, we've talked a lot about it. And Becca's here as well is going to talk about it. And it's just, we're really hoping to spread awareness and also, get a little fun. Do you want to play a little song?
We can play some song, and also if anybody has questions, this is the organization that's leading the charge in this particular effort to provide bilingual education and critical resources, called the Yes We Can Foundation, and it is yeswecan.world. The GoFundMe is GoFundMe/Migrant Caravan Kids. We're gonna post the link in there.
The link is right there.
And you can ask questions too on the live stream. So check in if you have questions about what's going on, or you just want to say hi. Send us some love, send us some likes. And
it looks like Sam Newbold just gave us a little thumbs up. He's an old friend of mine. So shout out to Sam.
Yeah, and even and even if you repost your wall, whatever it is to spread the word, to spread awareness around it. Share it, is a great way to support.
And the GoFundMe link is right there as well on the post.
So let's check out what else he's into, right? They put the GoFundMe up here that I just shared with you, right? And did I show you this already? I think I did. Let me see. I shouldn't have opened it. It was a mistake. It's taking too long. Okay, sorry about that. Then he has this post about how he's at this with this group of people raising money.
In leadership training right now.
This is that.
Hey everybody, I'm participating in a.
Here you go.
Hey everybody, I'm participating in a leadership training right now, and there's about 50 of us, and we are on a stretch to raise $10,000 by 11 a.m. for the Yes We Can Foundation, supporting the migrant children in the caravan, in the refugee caravan that are just over the border at the Barretal camp in Tijuana. So as you know, these kids have walked thousands of miles. Many of them have lost parents. They have been suffering trauma, because of war, because of violence, because of extreme poverty. And so we're raising these $10,000 to provide them with bilingual education, critical resources, and also support to help them through the trauma so they can actually lead healthy whole lives. So please go to the GoFundMe. I'm going to be offering.
I don't know why that glitch happened. I apologize for that. My computer's trying to be crazy. I hope my phone doesn't take after it and do the same thing. I just wanted to pause right there to say, what the hell did he just say? So, okay, in the first video you saw, he lied and said a lot of the children in the migrant caravan are orphans and have lost their parents. That is not true. There was not a bunch of people, a bunch of parents that died along this route. They didn't even walk the entire route. They got all sorts of different kinds of transportation. In the end, as you even saw yourselves on my shows, they were taking buses. So no, they did not walk 2,000 miles. No, they did not have a bunch of them lose their parents. No, a lot of them are not orphans. And no, there is no war. No war right now in Central America that these children are running from. Have there been wars in the past? Sure. Has there been turmoil in Central America? Yes. Has the United States and the politics of the United States contributed to the hardships of those countries in Latin America? Of course. Is this guy raising money for the migrant caravan school and those children? No, he's not. Who's he raising it for? I don't know. But it's not for those kids. He's using them to say that he's raising the money for them. But I have a hunch he's raising it for Justice Democrats. I have a hunch he's raising it for these giant organizations that they're working with that are carting around millions of people from one campaign to the march, in Washington, D.C., to this next thing, all of which culminates in another person in office, in policy changes at the highest levels with your manipulation and money. You out there that pay attention to this and donate to this are the ones that are being used and exploited.
Meditation, private meditation for anyone who donates $100 or more, private coaching sessions. It's worth a couple $100. And if you donate $500, that's going to be worth a month's worth of free coaching and private meditation sessions. You can use it for couples sessions. Valentine's Day is going to be coming up. The transformational couple sessions are pretty juicy. So I'm donating to this to anyone who donates to support the refugee kids. Now we're going to go out. We're going to be doing I'm with my buddy Jeff from the band Poolside, and we're about to go out to the pool and play some music out by the poolside to their fan page. So if you get this, we're going to be on the Poolside Facebook fan page. But please go to GoFundMe.com/Migrant Caravan Kids. The link's below. Please give generously and help us to support these kids. And lots of love to you.
Do you want to get mentored by that guy? I'm asking for a friend. So then he posts Estefania Reblon's post that I just showed you with all of those tags. And it's, it's a different one. But it has a lot of the same people tagged in it. You see right there is Francis Fisher again. And there's Fiorella Isabel again. And Emiliana Guarca Zienfeld again. And Angie Spencer. She was part of the other one too. I didn't specifically name her, but recognize Rye Bread's in there. You see? A lot of the same people, right? It says, if you wanted to know who's raising that money on that GoFundMe, the HCL 5 leaders, here they are. She says, this is truly magical. Thank you, J. Pani and HCL 5 leader team for gathering and doing a 24-hour fundraiser for the Yes We Can school starting today. So, our hearts are exploding with joy. Exploiting. Wow. Did you catch this? Our hearts are exploiting with joy. Yes, they are. Malditos. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué explotan a los niños de la caravana? Don't worry, she would understand it. They are exploiting. She did not misspell anything there, folks. This is not a misspelling. Their hearts are exploiting. They exploit with joy. And she says that this is the group of people that are exploiting with joy down here. Here are the joy exploiters of children of the caravan. And there's Jay Ponte right there with them. So all of these people, I'm assuming they're B and D list actors, gurus like Jay Ponte, people with big followings, right? Susie's like, love, right? They run the page for missing and murdered missing flowers. That's run by a man. That's run by Jay Ponte. It ain't even being run by her. And then, of course, more often than this is the most ironic post ever. More often than we think, when we assume we are the defender or the victim, we're actually the perpetrator. Oh, the irony. So, I wanted to go over to his pictures so you can see. First, I'll show you some important ones. This one is some of the folks, many of these actors that keep recurring, you will have seen in the shows that I showed you about all of the actors and the glitterati and the Hollywood people involved with these marketers. I don't know what else to call them, that went to Standing Rock. Among them, of course, was Bernie's people, Tara Houska was working with the Bernie campaign. So was the Christina Nobis, and so was Desiree Kane, and so was Winnie Wong, and so was Seven McDonald, so was Maggie Day, and they were all working with some very similar actors. One of them was Rosario Dawson, and there she is, right? There's Jay Ponte pictured with those folks. Who else? Why? These two. Susan Sarandon, which you saw a lot of, and Josh Fox, the guy that did the movie Awake with Myron Dewey, the guy that Seven McDonald got on TYT so he could get interviewed by Wesley Clark. These people. What are they celebrating? They've got certificates of congressional recognition. Wow. So members of Congress recognize these people for their good works. If only the rest of us wretched humans could be more like these Hollywood elites. Who else is Frances Fisher, connected to Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda? You saw her at Standing Rock. You saw Shailene Woodley wearing the same shirt. All of this stuff put out there by them was using their platforms and their fame to focus on certain people at Standing Rock. And of course, they used it as a way of igniting their political candidates, throwing them into a situation that they automatically used to say, anyone that's a water protector, anyone that came out of that movement is a gosh dang hero. Here are some of the other actors he's connected to. Here's Gary Sinise. And I'm just going to go through some of the Facebook page things. This guy's some reverend dude over here. And this is Jay Ponte at TYT. This is not the only picture Jay Ponte has hanging out with Jank and TYT folks. So make no mistake, Mark Lane, Cenk Uygur, Jordan Sheridan, Wes Clark, all these people that came out of TYT, many of whom are now still involved in what's happening at the border, are connected to Ponte, are connected to Hollywood and this power of the celebrity. Here's another one of those people, Desiree Kane, who I told you was connected to Netroots. She worked for Netroots Nation. Desiree Kane also worked with Winnie Wong. She also worked with, what's his name, Remy. She worked with all those people. She worked on the Olivia Lonebearer search. And here she is tagged with Joy Braun, with Jay Ponte, and here's Susie Desba. And what does she say? Indignation, Block June 4 is still on. We will round dance and be in prayer. We don't need no permits. California Indigenous Block March, June 4. Poor People's Campaign, California. And, of course, you know that was connected to Linda Sarsour. What did they say? Desiree Kane, remember she's a pretend Indian. She says, well, they pulled our permits to demonstrate in Sacramento. As if having permits ever stopped the revolution, we'll make our voices heard as we lay down our prayers, and we will not be deterred. So one of the people, again, at the very lead of these issues, it's not a poor person. It's not even a person of color. It's people like Jay Ponte, Desiree Kane. It's people like that with a lot of power and a lot of connections. Here is Madeline Kelly Merritt, the actress that founded and runs Activate Now. She's the one that created the platform and gained the following for it. And here she is with Jay Ponte and friends. Who else we got? Well, here he is with people working with Divest LA. Hey, that's the group that chick, Kelly Merritt, is the director of, or whatever. The one with Activate Now. And then here is another group of individuals. None of those look like celebrities, but maybe one of them or two of them are. He has celebrities in a lot of these pictures. This one has got Francis Fisher in it and Democracy Spring. In this one, he is with, I don't know who that is. It looks like he went to Stonehenge. And then here he is. He does a lot of stuff with meditating dudes and campaigns. I believe that's his girlfriend. Here he is with Jane Fonda, Francis Fisher. Here's Francis Fisher. Here's Jane Fonda, and here's Jay Ponte next to them. And there are people in the background, I don't know if you can tell, that are wearing those shirts from Standing Rock. She's wearing the scarf she was wearing in a lot of interviews that she was doing from Standing Rock. That was very iconic. It's part of the wardrobe of anyone trying to be a water protector. You got to have a bandana around your neck. Something with arrows on it. Maybe she has the tattoo. Who knows, right? There's Jane Fonda. There's Lily Tomlin. There's Jay Ponte. And then we've got this video. There's Dee Dee Banerjee, Francis Fisher, Jane Fonda. And this other one, you see how Indians are being used and co-opted? Are they even paying all the rest of the extras that were out at Standing Rock? Y'all got used. Here's Faith Spotted Legal meeting with leaders of Black Lives Matter and Jay Ponte. And they were at Standing Rock when they were doing this. And guess what? There's Errol Medicine. Same people involved in this Tijuana stuff. Uncle Errol Medicine for his wisdom to water protectors. Right? Now suddenly that guy is going to take medicine and knowledge. Who's he with here? Oh, well, it's Ed. It's Ed Higgins. Right? So these folks are all interconnected. And there are a bunch of actors and actresses. Here's Shailene Woodley. Here she is again. Here's Cenk Uygur. Here's Mark Ruffalo. Same people over and over and over and over again. There's Frances Fisher. There's Jill Stein. Let's see who else we've got here. At some point, I just thought, I'm just going to go through these pictures with everyone while they're watching with me because there's so many of them. There's some award ceremony show here. See how glitchy my computer is being right now with Facebook? I don't know what it is. It's ridiculous, but who's here? Is that Frances Fisher right there? Is that Josh Fox? Huh? Is that Nomiki Konst? What? And there's Winnie Wong right there? What? That's crazy. You're probably thinking to yourself, why, Cindy, that's insane. That is craziness taking place right now on the screen. How is it possible that all those people are right there? And yet they are. They are. It's not one thing that they're connected to. It's a lot of things all together. Here is Susan Sarandon. Okay? Same folks over and over and over again. Who's this? I'm just going to check. They're at a film. They're at a film. Oh yeah, they went to that Josh Fox thing together. All of them went to that Josh Fox film. Is that Nina Turner? It is. Oh, I'm memorizing all the names. There's Josh Fox. There's Frances Fisher. There's James Ponte. There's Rosario Dawson. Right? Oh, look. There's the lady from Democracy Now!, Amy Goodman. And look, there's the guy, Sam Kendrick, that went to Standing Rock. Oh, look, there's Josh Fox. Oh, look, there's Dr. West. Over and over and over again, right? Same duty, different day. Here's the Bernie people. There's Bernie Sanders, right? Got the whole Bernie brigade. And then here's all of the people that went. They all went to the Josh Fox previous movie, How to Let Go of the World and Love All the Things Climate Can't Change. And who's going to be there in person? It's Shailene Woodley. Ed Begley. Frances Fisher. Josh Fox. Who's that? Eden McFadden. She looks familiar. Some of these actors and actresses and people I do not recognize. Some I do, some I don't. Here, I don't know who that is. No. Not ringing any bells. Here's another Bernie event. What's this? I don't know. It looks like he's playing beer pong. So yeah, it looks like Now I've gone back too far in history. I also had some I am not managing anybody's lives. I am following and understanding and learning how they work together and how they fool folks into thinking that what they're doing is grassroots or organic or led by the people, when it's a bunch of nonsense. People are messing with our heads, telling us that, this is all, prayerful movement, and here's the people that are really affected. And they put it all together. They're the ones that put everything together. Let's see, what else did I want to show you? Oh, this is important stuff. Okay, so the next part of this section is going to focus on the announcement that the announcement that Tulsi Gabbard is running for president. And then we can talk about it if you'd like to talk a little bit about that, how you feel about that. Personally, I wasn't surprised. I keep seeing different candidates being tossed out as possibilities for president in 2020 to run against Trump, and so far think they're landing kind of with a thud. Even Elizabeth Warren. I mean, Elizabeth Warren was pretty exciting, but politicians are like cadavers. After a certain amount of time, they just start to stink, no matter how amazing they seemed at the beginning. And it's just because the more you get to know them, the more, they say familiarity breeds contempt. I think it's true, especially in the case of politicians. So, Tulsi has now tossed her hat in the ring, and I was frankly shocked because, out of all of the people that have been discussed as possibilities to run, Tulsi seems like she's got more to overcome than people like Elizabeth Warren with her whole, Native American DNA faux pas, or Kamala Harris with her sanctuary cities, firefighters, faux pas that she got into when she was a DA. Like, you could say that about other of the people that are running, that are progressive, that seem attractive, right? But Tulsi's got more to overcome than anyone else. And a lot of people, like TYT, are running to her defense. Nico House, TYT, very, very upset. Jay Ponte, they're very, very upset that people are talking about this candidate negatively and are saying what I'm saying, which is, I don't think she has a snowball's chance in hell. Progressive people are saying this not because they want to be mean to Tulsi. They're pointing out flaws in her past that have hurt her politically. And the people that are hired to promote her and get her elected want to shame us into silence because we're pointing out the facts as they are. She has an anti-LGBTQ history. Yeah, but it was when she was 19 or 20, 21. Yeah, but she does. So did her dad. They advocated for that pseudoscience therapy that is supposed to turn people straight. Yeah. they advocated for stuff like that, which is considered torture. So there's a bunch of stuff that is in her secret meeting with Assad, a guy that gassed his own people. I mean, it's crazy that a member of Congress was able to get her own private meeting with Assad. And I did a whole show on Tulsi Gabbard before, talking about a lot of the problems with Tulsi Gabbard. Why is Tulsi Gabbard problematic? And I went over a lot of these topics, and they were based on an article in Jacobin that I shared. Everyone's probably read it. The show I titled The Gift of Gab. I will share it in the comment section of the show so you can go watch it. I think it's a good time to brush up on what she has going for her and what she doesn't. So she has a lot of different people that are defending all of these things that are being said about her, that have already been said about her, that have already been discussed in the past, which is why I don't understand why people are having such a hard time believing and or receiving the negative or the criticism of Tulsi Gabbard as a candidate for the left, when all of this stuff has already been discussed before, and she had as little support then as I feel she does now. So I want to talk about how Tulsi is connected not only to the people that are currently Antifa, people being investigated by Homeland Security right now on the border that I showed you at the beginning of my show. I have two parts to this show because my phone died on me, so go back and watch the first part, and then you'll see what I'm talking about there. And I showed you the evidence of the fact that at least Evan K. Duke, one of the very lead organizers in all of this nonsense, connects directly to Tulsi Gabbard, as do a lot of these other Veterans Respond folks, including Ed Higgins, who is connected to crimes I've talked about on my show, including the folks that are currently in Tijuana encouraging attacks and crossings, illegal crossings at the border, as you saw documented by newspapers, which included quotes from Evan K. Duke and Lilith Sinclair, which I showed you he posted on his own page. All of this connects to Tulsi Gabbard. All of these people, all of these frauds, all the way back from Standing Rock, and these media people connect to Tulsi Gabbard. If nothing else, you will be able to see how they are injecting her into issues and situations. I believe I heard someone say, although I haven't seen it, that her first interview with, who was it? It wasn't Cory Booker. It was Van Jones. She talked to Van Jones, and someone said that she didn't do very good for her first time talking about becoming president or running for president, and that she failed to talk about something important and weighed in on the border crisis. In other words, the migrant caravan. And I was like, wow, right on cue. So Tulsi is brought in to weigh on Standing Rock. She's also given a lot of accolades. And in fact, in a lot of the media I've seen where they're talking about her running for the presidency, that is one of her credentials. She went and stood by the people at Standing Rock. That's one of her credentials. So we need to look at that stuff again, okay? It's a quick reminder. Here is Seven McDonald, one of the people that works in Hollywood as a PR person, along with Winnie Wong, Desiree Kane, people like Jay Ponte, people like Francis Fisher, and all of these other agents and marketers using their massive followings and platforms. There's Danny DeVito laying on the ground, and over there is some actor I don't know who he is. But anyway, they're with Tulsi Gabbard. The same folks that were promoting her probably got her to go to Standing Rock in the first place, told her it would be good. They were probably planning on running Tulsi Gabbard ever since she went to Standing Rock, just like they were going to run for all of the people that ended up running for office already were going to run for office. And they claimed that they were inspired by what happened at Standing Rock, but they were told to go there because it was supposed to be part of their origin story. Whoever was their marketer, whoever was the person doing this for them, like Ocasio-Cortez, TYT was, and Nexus Group probably said, hey, you got to go to Standing Rock. Look who's standing behind Tulsi Gabbard. It's Evan Duke III, the guy that was just being questioned by Homeland Security. Joseph George is behind her. I still have an interview with him where he admits that he and Evan Duke and Ed Higgins weren't really any kind of security detail for Tulsi Gabbard because there was no security risk. They were just fanboying, he said. This is, of course, Ed Higgins, the guy with Activate Now, that you saw me show you was involved in trying to cover up a crime. And then I have oops. Sorry. This one is from the Run Tulsi Run page where she was running for office. This was, a long time ago. Because there they are. Yesterday we met with the chairman of Standing Rock Sioux Tribe, Dave Archambault II, and council member Cody Tubers. We sat for a couple hours and learned about the history of the tribe and the current mission we are on. I was amazed and deeply moving experience. I feel honored and blessed to be part of what will be a turning point for these amazing people here and around the world. Hashtag Standing Rock, hashtag No Dapple, hashtag Tulsi Gabbard 2020. And there's Shinelene Woodley. Same group of people over and over again. Now, let's look at who else she's connected to. Here she is again with Ed Higgins. There's her husband, who's a documentary filmmaker. He just follows her around and makes little movies about her. There's Tulsi and Myron Dewey, another one of the people questioned by Homeland Security. Another one of the people that just did something, that has been doing something very odd on our southern border in connection with these caravans. And Kei Kurimoto's friend, Tina Pugliese. Remember Kei Kurimoto? Another one of the people that is a mover and a shaker like Winnie Wong. A marketer like Desiree Kane. Working in politics, working in these campaigns. Here is another picture. Here's Tulsi giving Ed Higgins a big old hug in a march in Washington, D.C. There's her husband again with his film equipment. And this is posted on Activate Now's page, okay? In March of 2017. And it says, water protector Tulsi Gabbard and Ed Higgins take the fight to D.C. Tulsi continues to fight for us and our water in Congress, whilst Activate Now will continue reporting the most important news. Really? I don't think so. Whatever happened to Ed? It's like this, the earth swallowed him. But, I wouldn't be surprised if all of these people crawl out from the rocks that they went into. Desiree Kane was recently posting about her art exhibit. Come see her and her work, along with other Cali natives, producing some of the most creative and beautiful work that she has ever seen. What she's going to submit are her panoramic images from Oceti Sakowin camp at Standing Rock. Her photo essay is the work, and it's in Yes Magazine. Notice how Yes Magazine keeps popping up a lot? Some of these people have connections to media platforms. That's how they use all of these different actors and media platforms to disseminate their information. Oh, hey everyone. A portion of all her sales is going to go to Standing Rock Sitting Bull College. And if you believe that, then you'll believe that she's also going to give a portion of it to the Yes We Can school. And here's a recent post that she made about how there's a reason why people criticize her for pretend Indianing, and that's because she looks like a white person. And as a person that looks like a white person, she's still an Indian. And that's not the problem, Desiree Kane. You can be a white passing Indian. You can be a light-skinned Indian. You never talked about, nor cared about, nor paraded your Indianness before you went to Standing Rock. Don't think you can take up the mantle of being an Indian because somebody tested your DNA, or you found that one of your parents or grandparents was an Indian, because you never honored that. You're not traditional. You don't know anything about your own people or your own history. You took up the mantle so you could start talking about Indian issues from an Indian perspective, which you do not have. And she says, surprise, I'm a white passing Indian, with a quote from Audre Lorde. And she says, nothing I accept about myself can be used against me to diminish me. Okay. The problem isn't that you're white passing. The problem is that you're taking up space that a brown or black woman could be speaking from, while saying, I am speaking for Indians because I am an Indian. She says, when there's a big announcement about Tulsi Gabbard running for president, and there goes your own face. Yeah, there's the white passing Indian, according to her, Desiree Kane, in the picture with an announcement posted by Tulsi 2020 about how she wants to become the next president. And you can never forget about Wesley Clark. He's another person with shady dealings that connected very closely to Tulsi, who he said he was still in contact with in the phone calls, interviews that I played on my show. Freak the F out. You can go find all of those on my page, kpppfm.com. Those are Wes Clark's own words. These are all of the people that Tulsi Gabbard is connected to. This woman, L'Oreal Blackshaw, who hired Bill Runningfisher to be part of the security team, that kidnapped an elderly woman away from her family and put another one in jail. That helped to invoice the Veterans Stand for Standing Rock for, as the payee, approved by L'Oreal Blackshaw for over $130,000. And here she is, the spokesperson for Veterans Stand for Standing Rock, that shady organization that took millions of dollars and did God knows what with it, while committing crimes against Indigenous people. And there's Tulsi. And there's Dave Archambault. The unsavory people that Tulsi Gabbard has chosen to associate with over the course of creating this facade or this illusion that she's an activist for Indians, that she is an activist for gay people, that she is whatever the public needs her to be so she could be the next Democratic candidate, is very unfortunate, because these unsavory people that are in the present down at the border, she may even end up joining them, God only knows, are connected to violent organizations that have been investigated by the FBI for their ties to terrorism, and individuals with the same background, such as Linda Sarsour, such as her family members, such as BAM and Yvette Falarca, and some of the other folks I have told you about. So now you know what these folks are associating with the next candidate for the Democratic presidency, Tulsi Gabbard. Now, if you would like to talk about whether or not you think she's a viable candidate, I don't really think she has that good of a chance because of all of the things that I have mentioned that she is currently associated with. So for all of the people out there that keep saying, that happened a long time ago, what's her record now? Yeah, she had a meeting with Assad, but it's better to be open to talking to enemies than not. Sure, she did this other crappy thing, but her record on helping people, helping women is changed. So yeah, she has a bad record on abortion. Yeah, she might have said these bad things about gay people a long time ago, but now what is she doing? I'm saying 2016 isn't that long ago. All of what I just showed you she's associated with, and the things that those folks have been doing that I've documented, that I'm documenting they're doing right now at the border, that they are being investigated by Homeland Security and Border Patrol for, as they themselves are telling you, are associated with her. All the way back to 2016. And that wasn't when she was 19. It wasn't before it became popular to talk about the topic. It's right around the corner. It just happened. It wasn't that long ago. And those associations, which I definitely hope folks out there are going to hold her accountable to and for, are what really, I think, are going to drag Tulsi's candidacy down. The very same people, y'all need to, Bernie, Tulsi, y'all need to hire some new PR people. Get out of Hollywood, you know? Find somebody else. You know, you don't need Frances Fisher. You don't need Susan Sarandon. You don't need to rent Cornel West. You don't need to rent Jesse Jackson. We're onto you. We know that. Do you see how people treated Jesse Jackson when he shows up in certain places? They're like, get out of here, you sellout. All of these celebrities are essentially prostitutes to the highest bidder. They're prostitutes. They will sell any product, they will sell any issue, they will sell anything, and they will help raise money. They will even eke out a tear and make it seem real. They'll get themselves fake arrested for the cause, like Shailene Woodley did. They'll do whatever it takes to make you believe. And since many of them are actors, it's not that hard to pull off. None of this is natural. None of this is organic. None of this is grassroots. And yes, it is very politicized. Does this have anything to do with the government shutdown? Oh, hell yeah, it does. Does this have anything to do with Trump wanting a border wall and the government being shut down right now? Does this really have to do with migrants, refugees, immigration policy? Not really. The wall? No, not even that, sadly. We can't talk about the things that they claim that they want to talk about, that this is supposed to be about, because this doesn't have anything to do with that. This is all about the politics. Sadly, that's what it really is about. And it doesn't matter to the folks that are at the forefront of this, that are orchestrating this whole theater, this whole charade. It doesn't matter to them that the collateral damage is that they're alienating the Mexican people of Tijuana and the governments that are there, the entities that have been trying to actually help the people in this caravan, to get them housing, to get them donations, to get them educated, to get them jobs. The Mexican people have been doing that. The Mexican government officials have been doing that. And these folks, and now these celebrities, have done nothing but badmouth, alienate, and deride the efforts of the Mexican people. To me, that is both colossally offensive, laterally damaging for people that claim to be allies of indigenous people, which Mexicans are, and allies of Mexico and causes of people of color, while they're being laterally violent to our people in Mexico, the people of Tijuana. I think that it's also racist that these folks are going down there and they're trying to paint this picture, this horrible picture of what's happening to this caravan. These people aren't your, stray puppy to raise money off of. They're not, like Mark Lane wants to hold up pictures of a girl in a wheelchair and a kid with Down syndrome. This kind of pandering and what we saw in the Hurricane Maria by Terrence Daniels and all these folks, it's disgusting, because they literally use the most vulnerable people to extort money out of you for their own purposes. And they're in what we call in Spanish vividores. They've been doing this for a long time. It's time that we identify them, stop funding them, and just plain call them out. If the funding isn't stopping, it's because it's being funneled through these GoFundMes. So it looks like it's just, John Q. Public out in the middle of Nowheresville sending $300 like Francis Fisher did. But I don't think that folks like you and I could get fooled for years on end and still keep giving. I'm not giving anything to any of these folks anymore. I'm done. If I want to help people, I'll find a different way to do it. I don't need these people in my politics. All right. That's it, folks. Thanks for being here. I'm just going to look and see about some questions and answer some questions real quick. I don't usually do this, but I can actually see because the phone is very close to me. Me going down to Tijuana? No, I'm not going to do that. First of all, there are excellent reporters that are doing a good job of telling you what's actually happening on the ground there, in Spanish and in English. And those people live there and are part of that community. You should listen to them. I've given you plenty of different sources that I follow and that I get that information from and I subscribe to. Also, I believe that if I go to Mexico, it will be to go to Mexico. When I go to Mexico to visit my family, to connect to my people, to get closer to my roots, to engage with my traditions and everything, right? That's what you go to Mexico for. I'm not going to go down there to further burden a city that is already overburdened with this migrant caravan and with all of these phonies. Derek Bud says, what I like about this fake crisis is infiltration people coming out of the woodwork. They are. And the best part is that since I know the pattern from watching everything these folks have done prior and at Standing Rock, it's like, oh, wait, this is around the time that the veterans show up. Oh, okay, now Cornel West and the Hulk should be around the corner. What? Oh, there he is. There's Mark Ruffalo. You're like, on cue. These folks show up. So I'm warning you, the Caravan celebrities are starting to raise their hands. Estefania showed up. We got Jay Ponte. We got some band. We're going to have some other B-list, D-list, E-list actors, entertainers, musicians. But don't be surprised if Frances is around the corner. I mean, she and Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda and the Hulk and Rosario Dawson, they're the big guns that are going to get pulled, right? If they come out to play. Or they'll use some other bilingual or Mexican connected actors and actresses like America Ferrera could be one that they pull out. Machete, who I've shown you is connected to these phonies as well. They have a large number of actors and actresses that they've used. Do go back and watch the rest of those other shows where I talked about the glitterati. Let's see. Is Trump going to use the border thing for emergency crisis? In my opinion, do I think that Trump will declare an emergency in order to pay for the wall? I think a better question would be whether or not he can get away with it. If the answer is yes, then eventually, if he doesn't get his way, he will, try to declare an emergency so that he can get the funding that he wanted in the first place. Will the funding and or any potential or possible renovations, improvements to the wall stop or decrease migration of undocumented people into this country? No. Because most of it comes through the air. So it's really just a vanity project, as many people have been calling it. It truly is. But government contracts for large projects like that being what they are, it is something he wants in his hat. He wants this win very, very badly. It's not about the border wall, really. It's about him. For him, it's about winning. And as far as whether or not he can declare a crisis, here's the thing. North Dakota wanted to declare an emergency, a crisis, so that they could get funding, so that they could get assistance when the Standing Rock protest was going on. There was a lot of arguing over whether or not this emergency system that was created for the purpose of states being able to count on other states coming in and helping them when there's a hurricane or a tornado or some other natural disaster, to send law enforcement or first aid people, right? In this new way to, police a protest, right, of people. And whether or not you agreed with the state of emergency being used by Governor Dalrymple in order to call law enforcement into the state or not, there was a law in place that applied to natural disasters or emergencies as declared by the governor to be qualified for back payment for these, like a guarantee of payment for the other states that agreed to help, which is an incentive for officers in other states to agree to help in these agreements, and for governors to other governors to agree to help each other when one of them declares a state of emergency. The other one will be like, okay, I'll come help you. So now think about that at the federal level. If there is a situation, and people argued about this with regard to the Standing Rock protest, people said, well, this isn't a state of emergency. This is a bunch of people protesting, right? You can't use this for, you can't man up with all of these different law enforcement agencies that are going to essentially overtake the number of protesters just by virtue of how many different law enforcement agencies are being brought out, and shut down our protests by declaring a state of emergency. And they said, we can and we will, and they did. And guess what? They just kicked the can down the road and fought about getting the federal government to acknowledge what they did later on as an emergency and fund them and give them money. And Heidi Heitkamp, our former congresswoman from North Dakota, she fought to get the state of North Dakota paid in the future, right? So the question is, will there be enough people, physical caravan migrants at the border to make a scene on camera to justify Trump standing in front of the media and saying, I do declare a state of emergency because of what is happening right now? 200 or 300 migrants that are going to be dwindling down to zero at El Barretal is not going to cut it. The 15K that are on their way are going to have to fly their butts all the way to Tijuana if they're going to get there fast enough to have some kind of an effect on people's idea of what a state of emergency at the border would look like. So the question about whether or not Trump will be able to pull it off effectively, have people support the idea, and have the money to take on building or fixing parts of the wall, it will depend greatly on the numbers of people in the caravan that are close to the border for him to get away with it. There's going to have to be something, because if there's nobody trying to cross the border, there's nothing violent happening, nothing like that going on, how is he going to justify it? Is he going to keep telling you about the non-existent caravan that's dwindled down to less than, 400 or so people at the Barretal? Because that's all there's left. And then 100 or so of the people went to that shelter with the priest in that whole shady situation that I told you about. So, I don't know. I think he will declare a state of emergency if the conditions are optimum for him to get away with it. Because the law stands with him that he could. I mean, the question is, will he? The Predator wheels are falling off. I hope so. I wouldn't hold my breath, though, Derek, because I've been doing this for a while, and it seems like these people have 9 lives. Do you know if the possible photographers, etc., in the next caravan? Oh, I don't know if there are any, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are already embedded ones, like the French guy. Who do you think is next? How about Henry Winkler? No, I don't think. I don't think they're going to involve somebody like him. But you know what? I will not say never again, because it was funny along the way, as I discovered different reporters that were kind of sold out or giving platforms or power to some of these folks, musicians, different people that I kind of, I liked their entertainment. I would be like, not that person. And it kind of sucks because, now every time I watch a show or a movie that Rosario Dawson is in, and she's in a lot of stuff, I'm like, they use your brown womanness to exploit brown women issues, and you let them. You're actors are professional liars, folks. That's their job. They lie for a living. So there you go. I'm worried about Mexico too. I'm terrified of what these folks are going to do there and how they are affecting politics, how they're affecting people's perceptions of what's really happening. Davis Fake, the one who ran off with $6 million made through poverty pimping. Yes. I wonder where all the money these folks are generating. Haha, I don't believe that lots of people woke in a way saying this. Yes. All native genealogy. Okay, if there's no more West questions, I think we're done here, folks. Thanks, guys. I can fully feel my mouth now. Thanks for being here. Share this out, and I will bring you new news when I have it. Good night.